Yo, 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 welcome to the show. Welcome to the Social Sunshine Podcast, episode 189. I am your hostess, your girl, Brittany Crossan. Thank you for being back for another episode. This is another episode for my fellow social media managers. So you may know that a couple of episodes ago, it was episode 187. That was my very first podcast episode devoted to social media managers, which is crazy because I have been a social media manager for over a decade. I've been doing this kind of work. And I'm finally creating some episodes that are specifically for you. If you are a social media manager, if you want to be a social media manager, or if the job that you do, like one of the many hats you wear is social media and you have to take care of that for the company you work for, right? This episode is for all of you, as was episode 187. And I'm going to continue this series and continue to share episodes that are helpful for social media managers. And recently we launched our social media manager program at Fun Love Media, which is my social media and podcasting agency that I own. And I'm just really proud of it. And that really inspired me to talk about this publicly more and to really help others that want to have this kind of career. Because I mean, like I said, I've been doing this kind of work for over a decade and I've learned so much. I mean, I feel like sometimes I could just like do social media management with my eyes closed. It's just such a natural part of who I am and my career. And I work with people that are so great at what they do as well. Like at Fun Love Media, we love social media. And so this program, the social media manager program that we recently launched, was something I was thinking about for so long and wanting to do for so long. And we got it launched this year, and we already have our first two social media managers in the program that are about to start getting some clients and actually just dive into their work. And I'm so excited because you can have such a cool career as a social media manager. It's flexible. You work remote. You can take on as many clients as you want or as few as you want. You customize it to your life, and you get to use both sides of your maybe personality and also like your professional ways. And so what I mean by that is like you get to be totally creative, right? Because we're doing organic social media. So we're creating content, posting the content for the client and all that. We're not an ads agency. So you get to be creative and make stuff for the client for social media. But then you also have all the things that come along with dealing with the client and the communication and the organization. So you get to put that like business side of yourself to use as well. It's really unique and it's really in demand. Social media is everything and it's not going anywhere. So I'm really proud of this program. I want to keep talking with you, social media managers, and that's exactly what I am doing today. And you can get more information about the social media manager program. You can go to our website, funlovemedia.com. There's that. You can also email me directly, Brittany at funlovemedia.com. It's Brittany at funlovemedia.com. And I'm happy to send you all the information about our program. Okay, let's dive into this topic, which is shooting and creating content. This is for social media managers, aspiring social media managers, or if social media is one of the things you have to do in your job at the company that you work for, which is actually very common. So shooting and creating content is such a huge part of being a social media manager if you want to be a thorough, full service social media manager. And not everybody works this way, and that's fine, whatever. But if you work this way or you want to work this way, this is for you. So I want to first explain why it's ideal to shoot the content for your client rather than your client shoot it themselves and send it to you. Or maybe they send you like some random, corporate graphics to post on social media or something like that. Okay, let's talk about why we want to do this, why we want to go on location to their place of business and actually shoot the content that's going to turn into social media posts. Well, one, it's cool because you are even more involved in their business and learning about their business. There is nothing like being there on location where they do their shit and soaking it all in, because you're representing them when you create these things, when you create a video, when you put together a caption that you've written that's supposed to be in their brand voice. Like, you are representing them. So when you go and do a content shoot, you're going to learn so much, things that you didn't even realize you would learn. You're going to soak it in because you're there. You're in their element. You're in their workspace, or whatever they do, whatever kind of place it is. And it's such a cool opportunity. So not only are you getting to actually shoot the content with, and get the video footage and the photos and everything, but you're soaking in everything about them. And that's really important. If you want to be an excellent social media manager, it's really, really important to learn as much as you can about your clients. So going in, and that's a huge reason why it's ideal to shoot it yourself. Another reason is because, quite frankly, you are the professional social media content creator, okay? And likely your client is not. So, and I mean, that's why they hired you, right? So the thing is that I have had clients that tried to like send me stuff that they maybe filmed a little video and stuff. And, in some scenarios, maybe it's fine, right? There's sometimes you can work with something that they send you, but it it's like a million times better whenever it's been a client that I go in person and I do it with. The quality of the content is going to be better because you are the professional. You have to be confident and remember that. You know what you're doing. Now, they know more about their business than you do. So you are a student of that. You are to respect that when you go into their place of business and you do this shoot. You are learning from them. You are. But you're in charge when it comes to creative and getting this content made and shooting it. So I want you to have that confidence to know, like, I need to go in and shoot this stuff myself because I know what we need for social media. I always tell clients, like, our content shoots for Fun Love Media, we go into them through like looking through a social media lens, if you will. So what I mean by that is that we're not like some videography. Wait, video. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that word. Fuck. Videographer. Oh, Jesus, Brittany. Sorry, y'all. We're not a traditional videographer. Now I'm gonna screw it up and laugh every time I say the word. That we've all known of for years, right? Where it's more of this traditional thing where you go in with a traditional camera and maybe even a small little crew. Maybe there's an assistant with the main photographer, and you're making promotional videos that are corporate-y, or maybe they're for a website. Excuse me. It's not like that. You're looking through a social media lens. You are there to capture content that's going to be used on social media. Now, could they coincidentally use some of the photos that you take because they're going to be beautiful? Of course, because you take beautiful photos. For something else, if they want to, sure, fine, great. Yes, of course. But the intention is we are shooting content with the intention of putting it on social media specifically. And it really matters if you're being thorough about it. It's not like something that somebody else would create, like some other kind of video, some other kind of thing for some other kind of purpose. It's not. And they have similarities, and maybe one day it'll all kind of mold together and be kind of the same thing. But for now, which is, spring, summer of 2023, it's different. So that's another reason why it's ideal for you as the professional to go in and shoot the content, because you're thinking of things like this. You're thinking of you're thinking of things like, well, it would really be ideal if these videos were less than 60 seconds long, because right now the video length limit on YouTube Shorts is 60 seconds and they really want their stuff to go on YouTube Shorts. So we should really do that. And I need to guide the process and make sure that the videos are short enough. Or I shouldn't take a video like this. We should kind of back up a little, because if we get the person too close to the left edge, then I know that the like button and the comment thing and all that crap is going to cover that up. And so it matters, you want to shift back, and like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and like trends, like, that something needs to be quick, or maybe there just needs to be some movement at the beginning of the video to grab attention, or like photos need to be from a certain angle. Like social media really, really loves blues and greens. If you can make sure there's some grass in the photo or a blue sky, like there's all this stuff that actually legitimately matters when it comes to social media. And it's specific to social media, and you probably already know tons of that stuff and why why it matters. So that's another reason why it's ideal for you to be the one shooting the content. You're thinking about, well, when this ends up on Instagram, it needs to be like this with this little special touch and da da da. Okay. So remember all of that when you're going into this. It really matters and it makes a difference. It doesn't mean that you can't ever, ever, ever use something that somebody else shot and they sent it to you. Like, clearly, if you have a situation and your client needs to do something kind of like last minute and say something on camera, and you've kind of guided them and coached them how to do it to their best ability because you can't be there because it's a very last minute thing or some crap like that. Like, fine. Obviously you make do, because in episode 187, as you know, if you listen to it, we talked about being flexible. You have to be flexible as a social media manager because sometimes things change at the last minute, and that's okay. It happens, but you have to keep that in mind. So you see what I'm saying? Like, for the most part, you want to go in and you want to shoot it yourself. It's just really, really, really ideal. And at Fun Love Media, we work it into their package that they choose. A client chooses a package based on how many posts per week they want, is essentially what it is. And one of the things that is included in the package is content shoot, but the pricing depends upon how often we're going to do a content shoot. So let me give you a couple of examples. Like, we could do one content shoot every 3 months. So basically, quarterly content shoot, and be with the client for 2 hours. And as long as we have our shit together and we're organized and we start knocking stuff out, you can definitely get enough content for 3 months. You can, in 1 2-hour shoot. It just depends on how many posts per week. If you're posting 7 times a week versus 3, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe if you're going to post 7 times a week for them, they may need to have a content shoot more often than every 3 months. But if it's a 3 post a week client, even 4, you could probably get away with 1 shoot per 3 months. So that's how we gauge it, is like, how much content do we need? And also when things are really timely, like if it's somebody that wants to use a whole lot of trends and trending sounds, you know how that goes. Like, something is a trending sound sometimes for 4 fucking months, but sometimes it's for like 4 weeks or less. And so if they really want to jump on those trends, you might have to visit them every single month or something like that. So you have to just think about the scenario and use all of your knowledge to figure out how often you're going to go to them. And that's exactly what we do at Fun Love Media. It's the same thing. Okay, so that's why it's ideal for you to shoot the content yourself. You're going to get video footage, photos, all the things. Now, side note, at Fun Love Media, we have always only used smartphones. We use a recent model smartphone, good quality. I love iPhones, but we do have a couple of Androids in the group, which is fine, I guess. And we use that. That is what we create content with, because first of all, these are really high quality devices, and you can get such beautiful content with a smartphone. But also, like, it's meant for social media. Like, the phone and social media go together like peas and carrots, right? So like, you've got like everything you need in that phone to be able to like create, capture the content, edit it on a cool app and all that shit. So smartphone photography is fantastic. All right, that's the first part. So moving forward, the content shoot process. I'm just going to give you an idea of the process that we go through for our clients, and then that way you can have an example and see how you want to handle it for yourself. So it's really about, planning some ahead of time and being organized and getting there and being efficient. Like I was saying, if you only shot content every 3 months for a client, you got to use your time wisely when you're with them, because you're not going to see them again for another 3 months. So, I highly recommend you do some planning ahead of time. And this is probably going to take some participation from the client. Now, it depends on the client, depends on the kind of business, all of that stuff. Everybody's going to be unique, but you get whatever participation you need from the client. Like, maybe you need some sort of information, or if they have any song requests or anything, whatever, anything that you might want to customize for them, any input that they need to give you. Like, oh, we're going to talk about, our expertise on law. And, so just so you know, we have 2 employees lined up to talk on camera, and they're each going to talk about 4 things. Like, you're going to get whatever information you can from the client. You're going to have your little to-do list, whatever you need to have. You might call it a shot list. So that way, you know exactly what you need to shoot while you're there, and you're totally organized. And when you get there, you dive in. We always get there a little bit early, not crazy early, because when you're crazy early, that's annoying, but you don't want to be late and you don't want to be just on time. You want to be a few minutes early. Okay. And we show up, and we're ready to go. We're prepared, and we just dive in and start shooting. All right. And then you can get through everything really efficiently. And what you've done is you've batched content, is what you've done. You've done the first step of batching. You have gone in and you shot all kinds of stuff in this like 2 hour time period, and you have enough stuff to use for the coming weeks or months. It's really, really efficient. And then when you go back to your office, you are going to go through it, and you're going to start creating the content for all the coming posts that you need to make and all that. So it's a really, really efficient way to do it. And it's batching, which, as you know, probably is a really smart way to create content. Now, make sure you're in tune with the details of the physical place. That's something you want to always keep in mind. If you are shooting on a smartphone the way that we all do, lighting really, really matters. There's only a couple of weaknesses when it comes to, or a couple of things that you maybe are lacking when it comes to using a smartphone for your camera versus a more traditional, probably much more expensive camera. One is lighting. It's just so much better when you have natural light. It's just kind of like night and day. Excuse the pun or whatever that was. It really is. So lighting really makes a difference in your shoot, and also distance, because a smartphone, you're just not going to be able to be like far away and zoom in the way you would with like a huge camera lens and get the same quality. It's not going to happen. But besides those 2 things, you really don't have too many limitations. It's really, really fantastic. Okay. So you go in, you're organized, you shoot, excuse me, you have everything done. And you're ready to go on about your business and start creating and posting. So this is, in an overview, kind of the final part of the process. After you've shot and created shot the content, you want to create the content. So first of all, like I said earlier, you really are getting to know them and their brand. So when you are creating content for a business or for an entrepreneur, you have got to be very familiar with their brand, as familiar as you possibly can be. And the more time you work together, obviously the more familiar you're going to get. And that's great. And that's the whole thing about organic content creation, is that it's a long game, it's a process, and it continues to improve over time. And that's great. But you got to go into it even already having done your research and already having had conversations with them. You have to have conversations. Just ask things about their business. Just get to know it. Just pretend like you're doing a book report. Is it a book report? People still do book reports? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, act like you're doing a project or something on this business. Like, you've got to really learn all about it. You need to have really studied their website. You need to have talked to the owner. When you were at the content shoot, you could ask questions any chance that you needed to be able to learn more, because you're then having to translate it all into content and deliver it out to the world. So you need to be knowledgeable on what they got going on in their business, all right? And you are representing them as their brand voice, by creating this content. So that's really, really important in this entire process of shooting and creating and posting. Now, when you actually go to create and post, you're going to have your schedule. It's going to be like however many posts per week that they want to do. And you, of course, need to place things on a calendar accordingly, depending on what they have going on, if they have special offers, if they have a special event coming, if there's a certain date that matters to them, a holiday, blah, 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 right? And then, of course, you've got other content that's like kind of more evergreen and it's not necessarily revolving around a happening, if you will. And that's how you place things on the calendar. And, you really want to, in my opinion, most of the time, there's exceptions, but most of the time, in your service, you're including engagement, meaning, you're definitely replying to comments and messages. And like if that client gets tagged in Instagram stories, you want to reshare it to their stories, that kind of stuff, like engaging with people and interacting with people and not just ignoring when they get comments. Now, there's going to be exceptions, like I said, because some clients, that's kind of like their way of connecting with their excuse me, goodness gracious, what's happening to me today, with their followers is to make sure that they go in and reply to comments and messages and that they post to their stories and say hello to people. And I think that that's actually a really, really great approach for a lot of kinds of situations, particularly a personal brand. It's really great if you can have an agreement between the two of you that they could just be the one that goes in and replies to comments and messages and maybe, post something in their stories every day, just saying hi to everybody and have a little personal touch. I think that that's a really smart thing to do. But otherwise, if it's more traditional brand, a business brand, then you probably have it in your agreement that you're going to reply to comments and messages and reach out to them if you need help, if you don't know how to answer something. But that's a big part of posting the content. Okay. So, all right. So we've got I think we've gone over everything. Yeah. Why it's ideal to shoot the content yourself as a social media manager, the actual shoot process, and then creating and posting the content, making sure you're engaging with people. Yeah, that really, that covers it. And if you are new to all of this and it sounds overwhelming, you're like, oh shit, now I'm a photographer. The answer is yes, you are. You are. You are. If you are going to offer a thorough, full service to clients, then it is important that you know how to capture what you need in order to then go and create the content and then post it. That's a full service thing, and that's what we do. And if that's what you're trying to do, then buckle up, get ready. That's what you need to do. And you can, we share things about smartphone photography that might be helpful to you on different social media platforms. I'm teaching a smartphone photography class actually coming up pretty soon, and there's all kinds of stuff. You can look on Instagram, excuse me, on Instagram, YouTube, and you can find information about just different tips on if you're shooting things with a smartphone. So there's plenty of information and resources out there for you to dig in and get better. And honestly, a lot of it's practice and just get creative. Like just use little things around the house to kind of do something fun with your phone and try to create stuff. It's if you love social media, like you're going to love doing this. So you're set. I hope that this was helpful to social media managers. Again, if you want information about our social media manager program at Fun Love Media, all you got to do is go to funlovemedia.com or email me, Brittany, BRITNEY, at funlovemedia.com. I personally will get your email and will be happy to make sure that we send over the packet of information and the application form and everything to you if you're interested in diving into this world of being a social media manager. I hope this is helpful. I want to hear your feedback though. I would, it's hard when it's a podcast because I'm just talking and you're just listening, or maybe you're watching. But I want to hear from you. So please leave comments on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Please feel free to message the show at the Social Sunshine Podcast, especially on Instagram. I know that that's a great way for you to get in touch with us. And you can always, of course, look me up, follow me, and message me anytime. I'm here to help and do as much as I can to help you guys build a really cool career around social media management. So, all right, that's it. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you later.